I created a series on how the world views the US. It has been viewed over 100 million times, and I have hundreds of thousands of comments from people all over the world. So I'm uniquely qualified to comment on how the rest of the world sees people in the US. And to my fellow Americans, I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this. We are not well-liked. We are downright hated by so many people in so many other countries. We are an active threat to the rest of the world. We elected a dangerous human being and put him in charge of things that affect people all around the globe. And just like many of us here in the US, they are suffering as a result, and they don't like it. We are actively hated by one of our biggest historical allies, Canada. So if you're an American and you find yourself traveling outside of the US, you better make it really clear that you are not a Trump or Elon.
Europeans are really not happy with the United States, but I do think that it's very, very important for us Americans to hear what people have to say about the United States.
So what's the perception over in Europe, like in England and the Netherlands, about travel to the US right now? Do you feel like your friends and family feel comfortable traveling there?
No, nobody I know back in England or here would go to the US at the moment. Not with all the news we're getting of people being, refused entry and sent back to where they came from.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Oh my God. That was so quick. That was instantaneous. Immediately, her reaction to this question. She didn't even have to think about it. She's like, no way. That right there tells me so much. That a lot of Europeans, completely have your mind made up about the United States. You don't even have to think about it. You would not even consider traveling here. She honestly named a couple of very legitimate reasons. I get it.
So I asked, will the rest of the world ever forgive us for electing someone like Donald Trump? Japan. Not a chance. Trump is just the symptom. From now on, any long-term deal with the United States needs a moron premium in case you elect someone even worse in the future. Netherlands. It's not just Trump. There are 75 million of him that can't be trusted. It will take generations if it is ever restored. France. It's not so much just the election, it's everything that wasn't done to stop him. The United States is lawless. Owie. Remember that the question was, would the world forgive us? Great Britain says, sure, as quick as the rest of the world forgave Germany in 1941. France. US today reminds one of the crumbling empires before the world wars. Arrogant, deaf to the world's anger, convinced of their own invincibility. History doesn't lie. Empires fall, and it's never the outsiders who bring them down first. It's the rot inside. America should stop blaming everyone else and start taking a long, hard look in the mirror.
America's relationship with its long-term allies have been under strain because some governments feel that Washington have become more confrontational, using economic pressure like tariffs to pressure countries to align with its own policies, and that this has contributed to America becoming more isolated on the global stage. And many people around the world were also angered by the US strong support for Israel during the war in Gaza, accused of enabling a humanitarian disaster. So these are some of the reasons, but let's get to see more reactions, then I'll come back with more commentary, all right? Let's dive into it.
I don't think Americans in the United States realize how the rest of the world sees us. Let me give you an example. A while back, I was having a conversation with my friend. Now, my friend lives here in Mexico. She's Mexican, and her daughter was going to study in the United States, or thinking about going to study in the United States for university. And she was saying to me how worried she was for her daughter to go study in the US because it is so dangerous. She was like, I don't know, there's so much gun violence. I don't know if it's safe. I was saying to her, you should be fine, avoid these places at night, avoid these cities. And then as I was saying it, it hit me. As a US citizen that lives in Mexico, this is something that I hear all the time about going to Mexico. People will say to me, I don't like you going to Mexico, it's so dangerous. Did you see the news? But the same exact thing is being said and happening about people going to visit the United States, especially right now. Growing up, we're so indoctrinated to believe that we are so lucky to be born in the United States, this place where only we have freedoms and safety. But from the outside looking in, it's completely different. People see mass shootings, gun violence, police violence, and now a government restricting rights. And they worry for their people going to visit the United States.
Would you ever move to America?
No, never, no.
No interest in moving there. It's a complete hole.
No, because I am transgender.
You'd step over there and you already lose like 10 of the rights that you have here.
It's a disgusting place. They've got no NHS whatsoever. It's an absolute dump.
They just think they're the best. They're like, oh my God, we have freedom, but most other countries have freedom.
I don't like the culture, whether it's tipping, guns, the thoughts on abortion.
If you're dying or having a baby, why you got to pay for it?
There's nothing about America that I think I would prefer over here.
You don't have like free speech at all there.
I wouldn't last a minute over there, I don't think. It's definitely stricter over there than it is over here, 1000%. If I was to go anywhere in America, it'd be like maybe like Canada.
This is the first time I've been abroad since the election, and I've lost count of how many times I've gotten that look of awe and sympathy that I get when I tell people I'm from the States. In the past few weeks, I've been to the UK, I've been to Lithuania, I've been to Latvia, I've been to Estonia, I've been to Sweden, I've been to Norway, I've been to Finland, I've been to the Åland Islands, and everywhere I go, I get the look. I have never been ashamed of my country, never been ashamed of my country. I served it for 16 years, and what I've had to do over here, after the 5th or 6th or 7th conversation, I had to tell them, I'm from Canada. I can't even claim my own fucking country. This administration that's coming in has painted a target on our backs. I'll always love my country, but I fucking hate the cowards that are coming in to run it.
I made a video yesterday about how the rest of the world is viewing America, and when I say America, I mean the United States of America in current day. In reading through all of these comments, it is so astounding how there are things that people are commenting in these videos that I didn't even know was happening. And I think that is the scary part, is we know that we're being censored, but we don't even realize how much we're actually being censored, to the point where if people want to come into our country, they have to give up the last 5 years of their social media and emails to see if they are anti-Trump. That is dictatorship. That is fascism. And I made this video because there are so many people who have been brainwashed, and I'm not trying to say that in a mean way, but they have been brainwashed to think that other countries now fear us and they fear Trump, so they respect us, and they do not. They fear for us. They feel bad for us. They think we're a laughing stock. They now think that we are a third world country between gun violence, healthcare, maternity leave, free speech, the food that we eat. The list could go on. And I wanted to make this video in hopes that people who have learned to trust Trump, unfortunately, can learn that if the entire rest of the world is talking about how our country is truly not great and we are headed towards a very, very dangerous time, as if we're not already in it, maybe it's time to take a hard look at where you think and switch gears. It is okay to change your mind and to see these things and to say, you know what, this has gone too far. It's okay to be late, but please take a hard look at yourself and think about where you stand.
I made a video about how tourism is way down because of Trump, and specifically about how it is affecting Atlanta with the World Cup coming, and it made it onto global TikTok, which I'm so glad about. So most of the comments are from people that are not American. So watch that video and read through the comments, because if you are an American that is stuck in like the bubble of America and our media and what we see and whatever, and you don't have any international friends, or you've never lived outside of the United States, it's super easy to not understand what we look like to the rest of the world. And I know that you might hear like liberals or people on the left saying this, but if you want to read it for yourself, go read through the comments and you will see the rest of the world fucking hates us. And I don't blame them at all. And they are saying the most rational, real, straight to the point things that a lot of Americans don't want to admit. Some of us do. I do on my platform all the time. But a lot of everyday, normal, average citizens in America don't want to admit how bad it is. And when you hear it from people outside of America, they don't need to sugarcoat it, right? Because they're just facts, and they don't have a dog in the fight because they're not like a Democrat or Republican. They're not left or right. They don't participate in our politics. They don't even really understand what each political party stands for or anything. Most of them don't even really know. So it's a very unbiased opinion. It's very interesting. Go read through the comments. The rest of the world fucking hates us, and that is a problem for foreign relations. It's a problem because most of these countries are our allies. So anytime we ever have any trouble with terrorism or anything, like we're alienating our allies. And it's also a problem economically, because you'll see all of them in the comments being like, yeah, I used to come to America a couple times a year and I'm not doing that now. Like we're fucked. Go read those comments. It's interesting.
You wouldn't have gone on holiday to Nazi Germany, would you? You wouldn't have gone and spent your hard-earned money in a state that was actively committing a genocide, would you? You wouldn't have knowingly gone and spent your money and therefore supported an economy of a state that was knowingly committing human rights monstrosities, would you? So why the fuck are we still going to America on vacation? How many countries has the US bombed in the last 12 months? Yemen, Somalia, Iran, Iraq, Syria. They've obviously massively funded the genocide in Palestine. They've kidnapped the Venezuelan president. Oh, they're kidnapping their own people on the streets and shooting people in the face if they dare to try and stop them. But you want to go there. You want to choose to go there. I can only assume that if you've managed to get a visa to go to the United States of embarrassment, you likely have the opportunity to go to many other places. Explain it to me like I'm 5. There's one thing, it's difficult to avoid supporting America in some sense because so much is owned by them, so many companies are owned by them. And I'm trying not to be too judgmental, but if you're actively choosing to get on a plane, pay your visa fees, and go spend money in that hellhole, can you explain it to me? Because I don't understand. The whole country music hype that was going on in 2025, like, you could call me a tin foil hat, whatever. I believe that was propaganda. I think that was a deliberate campaign to make America cool again, to distract us from the disgusting things that they keep doing. And I fear that a lot of us fell for it. A lot of us ate it up. America is fascist. And if you are choosing to go there for a jolly, you are supporting fascism.
For decades, the US has presented itself as a leader of the free world, a country that promotes democracy, freedom, and human rights. But lately, many people around the world are questioning whether America is still living up to that image. Under the leadership of Donald Trump, critics across the globe say the country is moving in a direction they find troubling. One of the biggest sources of criticism has been immigration policy. Many people say the treatment of undocumented immigrants has become extremely harsh. Images of families being detained, migrants being deported quickly, and immigration checks have created a sense of uncertainty for tourists and visitors. Even people who previously viewed the US as a welcoming destination are asking whether it's worth the risk of being stopped, questioned, or denied entry. Many people also feel that the US interferes too heavily in the internal affairs of other nations. The recent capture of Venezuelan president has sparked debate in US policy towards oil and political leaders. Also, with the US becoming involved on war with Iran, many people around the world fear it could trigger a larger regional or even global conflict. History has shown that conflicts in the Middle East can escalate quickly because of America's military and global influence. Many MAGA supporters, they believe that putting America first would make the country stronger, more respected, and more feared internationally. But now many are surprised by how negatively many people are reacting. For generations, the US built its global influence not only through military strength and economic power, but also through its reputation. The promise of freedom, democracy, and opportunity was one of the most powerful images in global politics. Millions of people dreamt of visiting the US, staying there, or building a life there. It was seen as a place where people from all backgrounds could succeed. But today, that image is being challenged. Critics say America is becoming more divided internally and more confrontational externally. The truth is the US is still one of the most powerful and influential countries on earth, but global influence doesn't come from power only. It also comes from trust. And when countries trust each other, alliances are strong, trade is easier, and cooperation happens naturally. But when trust begins to break, even powerful countries can find themselves facing growing resistance from the international community. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.